So someone recently sent me a video from a channel called Common Ground Conversations. This guy in Australia does a great job going around asking people, what is a high value woman? And what an interesting question that is. I might actually steal this video topic, but I went through the video, grabbed a few conversations in this video, and we're gonna be diving into those today. But before we do, you guys, we do have a new sponsor on the channel. Huge shout out to Black Forest Supplements. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this video. We'll talk about them here in a moment, but let's just go ahead and jump into it.
What is a high value woman? And high value in the sense of what do men tend to select for in a woman? And then we can also ask the question, what do women tend to select for in a man? So okay. Tell me what.
A fairly easy question. You might have to think about it for a few seconds, but instinct tells you what men and women are looking for.
What do you think?
I take issue with the two aspects of this. One, the high value aspect. I feel like that is rooted in capitalism, trying to quantify someone's existence based on their personality or based on certain traits that they exhibit. And if they don't exhibit those traits, then they're just not meant for society. I find that really rooted in capitalism. And
everything I don't like is capitalism. The guy that's saying it's rooted in capitalism, wearing this jacket that's probably very expensive and the pearl necklace. That's just so typical.
Then I also find
why is it rooted in capitalism?
High value, quantifying someone based on certain things, if someone doesn't meet that standard, then they're not meant for society. That's kind of what that implies.
Not necessarily. I think it's why are these your friends as opposed to all these other people that you've met in your life? Because you value certain personality traits in those people.
Okay.
Is that capitalism?
Well, no, I just think that the term high value, would you guys agree?
Fantastic response from the host. Fantastic response. I mean, he just threw that right back in his face. You pick your friends. You do this within your own friend group. You picked what is a high value friend to me. People do that all the time. What are they looking for in friendships? Loyalty, somebody that you can trust, somebody that shares your interests. Also, not somebody that usually contributes something to that friendship, that relationship. He just threw that right back in his face. That was a really good response. But also, this guy right here, the guy with the pearls, it's just a typical, I don't want to talk about this. I don't like this question. I don't like where this is going. Let's talk about capitalism. I guarantee if you talk to this guy about toxic masculinity or these people about toxic masculinity, they would be going off for 35 minutes straight. You wouldn't be able to stop them. They wouldn't even take a breath. But when it comes to this, what is a high value woman? They don't like the question. That is offensive. What do you mean high value woman? We're all about body acceptance nowadays and being weak and pathetic and glorifying that.
It's almost slightly
it's a measurement of how worthy they are of I guess any sort of societal.
Okay. Can I?
They're being way too dramatic. It's just a question, right? What is a high value man? What is a high value woman? You could ask these questions, and there's objective truths to these. Of course, people have their preferences, but in a general sense, men and women look for specific things. The host goes ahead and clarifies kind of the position and the question right here.
Can I? Yeah. Maybe let's see if we can get a clear definition, and then see if we can find something we agree upon, and then we'll build from there. So it's not necessarily a prescription of in order to be high value, I say you have to do this, this, this. It's more so an observation of what do men tend to generally select for in long-term partners within women, and then vice versa, what do women tend to select for within long-term.
If you're being fair and honest with yourself, you come to this natural conclusion of generalizing. You say, okay, well, in a general sense, I would say X, Y, Z. These people are that war on statistics group where they believe, there's no general instinctual way to how humans go about just their day-to-day lives, what they look for with life partners or any of that stuff.
Male partners.
Oh, okay, so we're just assuming that everyone's heterosexual.
Yeah, for the moment we'll roll
Okay.
with it. I mean, we can get specific if you like, but
something different. I don't think there's to be a high value woman and to be wanted by a man, you need to be pretty or whatever.
In a general sense, that makes you more of a high value individual. In a general sense, that contributes to how you're, perceived, how you're able to, you may be able to select certain partners because of your looks. Looks isn't everything, of course, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Which we'll probably talk about later in this video. But in a general sense, yes, people look for somebody that is remotely pretty, let's say, for a girl.
Men will like me because I'm like fucking weird as shit, and then some men won't, and then like that's fine. Like everyone has different tastes.
Okay, so
it doesn't have
common
anything
ground.
to do
Common
with
ground.
objective value.
Where we can find common ground is that everyone has their own personal preferences, right? You're going to have a personal preference. I'm going to have a personal preference. That might be a deviation from the norm as well, and that's completely all right. But that doesn't mean that we can't observe, generalize patterns or trends with regard to what men and women tend to select for.
To that extent, I'd say that like the question's really what is a high value person? Like
Yeah,
man, woman,
men
it's
and
the
women.
same.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
not the
It's the same
question.
thing.
That's not the question. The question is, what is a high value woman?
But what's
And
the
what's a high
difference?
value-
They hate the question, but what's the difference? Dude, come on. You guys, before we jump deeper into this, we got to take a few moments to talk about today's sponsor. It's obvious that the elites want to fill the world with weak and feminine men because that makes it easier to control society. Our lives are filled with estrogenic chemicals, junk food, and more awful stuff. And aside from that, there's nothing more that the media loves than promoting and glorifying weak men and putting down normal masculine men and labeling them as toxic. And all of this has been incredibly effective. Testosterone levels have been declining for decades at a rate of 1% per year. Strength in men is decreasing exponentially. So what can we really do to combat this? Well, lift weights. The more muscle, the more testosterone you have in your body. Get high quality sleep. That's very important. Get 30 minutes of sunlight per day. But the most effective, safest, and easiest way is to take turkesterone. This guy right here. It works for increasing muscle mass, helps you cope with stress and fatigue, increases energy, and helps with weight loss. Plus, there's no nasty side effects. Overall, it helps you become the best and most masculine version of yourself. Plus, it actually works for women as well because it's non-hormonal. You guys, summer is around the corner. It is time to get back into the gym and become a high-value male. Visit blackforcesupplements.com/James and use offer code James10 for 10% off. That's blackforcesupplements.com/James. Offer code James10. Let's get back to the video.
Like, where are these constructs coming from that like a high value woman is different to a high value man? Why are women held to a different standard than men? So I'm assuming that you're talking about like someone's body count, how many people they've slept with, what clothes they wear. Why is that such a focus for women but not a focus for men at all? Because
That is a good question. So I think it's
Society is far more critical of men. That's why this video is so interesting.
two parts, right? One is it's the what part of the question. What do men select for in women? What do women select for in men, generally speaking? But then there's that second part of the question, which is the why. Why do we have these double standards? Why is there an asymmetrical pattern in what men and women are attracted to?
I just don't agree with the premise of the question that you're asking because, again, like everyone's different and I don't think that there's a generalized statement for what men would select in women.
It's basically a statistics are racist bunch. Most men are looking for a woman that is nurturing, that embraces her femininity. Most men are looking for somebody that is honest, kind, not having, multiple sexual partners, not too easy to get. If we're talking about long-term partners, this is what men are looking for. A woman that takes care of herself. As a sign of taking care of yourself, as a sign of taking care of the family. There's all of this stuff. And there's stuff that women look for in men. That's just either societal or biological. Men and women look for specific, in a general sense, look for specific traits within each other. We're gonna skip past the statistics are racist bunch, but it's so funny to watch people completely want to ignore any sort of generalized statistics when it comes to questions like this. These people, they don't like that there is some instinctual aspect to looking for partners. They hate that because they're in that world of men should be weak and pathetic, women should be ugly and fat, and that's the way things should be. Anyways, I'll tell you what's low value. That's a group of socialists. Let's move on to the next conversation.
It's a high value woman. What do you think men select for in a
Hello,
woman?
I'm here. Me?
What would you rate yourself out of 10?
A million.
Oh.
I'm the queen.
What do you think men select for in a woman, apart from arrogance?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I was going to say narcissism. Okay, low value. There you go. Add that to the list for both sexes. Narcissism. Arrogance. No. Bad trait. Awful. Look at her face. That's fantastic. What a great response.
Now, you said that, I didn't.
What else?
Hang on. I think men respect class. A woman who respects herself, I think a man respects even more than a woman who's just, look, I don't slut shame. I want to dress like a slut, I'll dress like a slut. That's just a word. But personally, I don't like to reveal all because whatever. Like, I'm not really interested in showing all my skin for all of you people to stare at.
Yeah, I think that's for you
Reasonable.
or the partner.
Well, that's for me and whoever I want to show. If I want to show you, I want to show you, and you pay me $100, whatever. But I'm not going to do that.
See, I would say
but I'm not going to do that.
I would say that's a low value woman.
But that's not. No,
Right.
no, I would disagree with you.
Why?
Objectively speaking, somebody saying, "Oh, just give me $100 and I'll show you a photo of me naked," that is a low value trait. That is a low value trait. Look at this. I mean, society. If these are the people that we're creating as a society, we need to backtrack ASAP. There's no wonder why Gen Z is so mentally ill, having all these problems, because they're having awful role models. Culture and society is telling them that is okay. Oh, that's a sign of a high value woman, a woman that's confident and will sell her body for $100. Oh, jeez, have some pride.
That's a job. That's a job. Some people have no option. Some people, that's all they have. That's all they're able to do in that moment in time.
Disagree.
Well, what about
Who?
Cardi B's doing well, better than you?
Yeah.
So, and she was a dancer.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that she exactly demonstrated high value woman behavior though.
I think she demonstrates fantastic woman behavior.
Interesting. I would not want my sisters role modeling after Cardi B.
I would. She's a hard-working woman. Okay, the
Would you-
news-
wait,
My gosh. Oh my gosh. First of all, I love his responses to this, but that's so true, right? Would you ever want your sister or even your mother or whatever it may be to be like Cardi B? Or let's say your daughter. Oh, I want her to be Cardi B when she grows up. Okay? You might fixate on the financial success that Cardi B has seen, but as a woman and as a human, but as a woman, that's you're glorifying degeneracy. I think there's objective truths to what a high value individual is, specifically here for this conversation, a high value woman is. And I don't think degenerate fits that category at all. This chick is off the rails.
what would your partner think of that? If you said, "Hey, I want to role model Cardi B," would he be like,
Yeah,
"Power
I'd
to you,
love
babe"?
it. I don't know where he is right
Interesting. All right. Well, hey,
now. Getting my luggage.
I'll leave you and your partner. Have a lovely.
Yeah, the problem with that is if you are mimicking Cardi B, right? Her lifestyle, how she was, you're a dancer, whatever it may be, you will not attract a high value partner. This is detrimental to your happiness. This is detrimental to you as a person, moving up in the world. You start a family and your kids have to grow up with you being, knowing that you're a degenerate. You're already building an unhealthy home for the family. You're already raising unhealthy children. But, she knows this. Cardi B's objectively a bad role model for young women. That's obviously the case. You ask any father and they're trying to get their daughter, miles away from anything about Cardi B because they don't want their daughter to turn into something like that. It's funny because she can't get past the oh, well, she's rich. And that's what high value is. Just rich. That's it. That's all you need to be. Good luck with that. Next conversation.
If I was to ever, earn more than him, my value would go down. My value would go down to him because I'm his perception of me probably changed. I feel
Interesting. What makes you say that?
because I know it is backwards, but
Yeah. Why do you think it's backwards?
Because that is so old school these days. It should not matter who earns the most money.
There are some things that I observe, like for example, divorce rates are way higher
Yeah.
when the female makes more than the male.
100%.
And why might that be?
Men's egos are threatened.
No, but the women initiate the divorces.
100%,
Something
yeah.
like 80% of divorces are initiated by women.
because they're not
I don't know
seeing like
why
they're
that
being
is.
because they probably
Ooh, you just shut that down quickly. Let's say you're a candidate to be a life partner of yours is making more money than you, but they hit all the boxes, right? They're hitting all the boxes. They're embracing their femininity. They're nurturing. They're kind. Do you see a potential future with them as a mother of your family? Does that hurt the attraction? Does that actually hurt their value to you? Let's say you're very successful. Are you gonna let some nanny raise your children, or are you gonna focus on it yourself? It's teamwork. But that is really interesting. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that one. That's pretty interesting. This girl seems to get it though.
We don't feel provided for in other aspects of the relationship.
How interesting is that? Yeah. So that's where I think it's great for,
equality and everything like that. I get that.
Yeah, but I think it's also very important, especially for young lads, to know if you want to be attractive, you do have to make a certain amount of money to provide and protect. And if you don't do that, you kind of lose the polarity.
Yeah,
you don't allow the woman to kind of.
This girl, the girl on the right side, she's getting it. So that's really interesting because that will not only affect the men in the relationship if the female partner is making more money, but it could also affect the female. She might not feel as provided for. We're talking in a general sense here. Obviously, this isn't everyone's case, but in a general sense, many women that are making more than their husbands may not feel provided for. That is why you see, a lot of even very successful women will marry even more successful men. It's very common. And especially looking at relationships that actually will last.
I reckon so if I was to earn more than my partner, I don't know how he would handle that, because I feel like he would be like, oh, what's the point of me being in this relationship sort of thing. But then it's also
Men don't like being provided for a lot of the time.
Yeah, or maybe provided for in different ways.
It's because it's emasculating if you're being provided for financially.
It's like cared and supported.
100%. They'd rather be, I think, nurtured than have a financial,
Physically provided.
than a financial aspect.
She's getting it. She's getting it. That's perfect. That's exactly right. That's what in a general sense. In this whole conversation, you have to speak in generalities because there's always exceptions. But in a general sense, that is absolutely true. Men prefer to be when it comes to being taken care of. They prefer somebody that's nurturing more than financially supporting.
Like, let's say, for example, you had a missus, you were doing really well financially, she loves that you're the provider protector, and then you lose your ambition or something goes poorly in your business and you're a brokey. Do you think that a high-value woman sticks with you through that?
Of course.
One of the best quotes I've ever learned from someone, he goes, mate, probably the best test for a woman is regardless of everything and what he has, right? They stick by them. And the true test of a man is when he has everything, he sticks by his woman.
That's
Does that
a
make
nice
sense?
one. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah,
That's a very nice one.
The true test is when he has nothing, she sticks by him.
Yeah.
And when he has everything.
I think, we did an episode on Andrew Tate recently, and lots of people think of, or at least young lads think of Andrew Tate as the top G, high-value man.
Okay.
But I've been toying with the idea of, well, is a high-value man promiscuous, or does he commit to one woman?
The host is making a fantastic point here. And, a high-value man obviously is not promiscuous. A high-value man not only benefits his family, but benefits the community as a whole. And there's nothing more damaging to a community than men and women that won't commit to their partner. When it comes to bringing up the next generation, children need a father and a mother in the household. They don't need some deadbeat dad going around saying how dope he is hooking up with all these women. Being looking for a lifelong partner, a high-value man stays by his woman no matter what, and vice versa.
I think also maybe in the same way that a high-value woman would stick with her man when things don't go so well for him financially, let's say, he loses his ability to provide and protect, maybe a high-value man sticks with his woman when she loses her physical attractiveness with age, instead of moving instead of pulling a Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I really like this conversation with these two. This is a really good one. This is a positive one for sure. This guy understands he understands both. He understands what makes you a high-value man versus a high-value woman, and the importance of just understanding what people are looking for biologically. What men and women, what is important for the community, what is important for your health, your personal mental health. Absolutely spot on. Let me know what you guys think about these conversations. Let me know what you think about this video, and let me know, what is a high-value woman? Leave a comment down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and hit that bell notification button so you're notified next time I post, and we'll catch you guys next time.